What's up, YouTube? They be working on '09 Cadillac DTS. Power steering troubleshooting. Alright. Before we changed the power steering pump because the bearings was going out and that. We could hear it. But then we still had a leak. So, checked everything out. Checked the rack and pinion. And come to find out, it was one of the hoses. This could also be a lesson learned that if you skip steps, don't check everything in the proper order, you can spend a whole lot of money for no reason. As you can see, this is part of the hose. And with these hoses, there's just a small part. It's actually metal fittings on both ends because it's a pressure hose. You can see right here, this is the hose. Trying to see for you. This hose here, that's what the rubber hose came off of. And this hose, this is the other end. Okay? And as you can see, from wear and tear and driving, the hose was pinched and ripped. And that's where we were losing our fluid. And at first, we thought it was a rack and pinion, which would be this. This is what helps your car. This is what turns your steering. Is what your steering wheel is turning. I'm sorry. We checked everything out. Everything that is cool. We just changed the power steering pump, so we know that's good. So we did some elimination, and that's what I found. All right. So it's pretty simple to do. You can either buy the whole hose. It goes from the back, where the rack and pinion is, all the way to the front of the car, up around to the other side where the power steering pump is. Or you can be frugal and buy a hose along with the clamps that go with it. Okay? All right. I'm gonna cut this hose to fit, put it on. It's pretty simple. All you're doing is sliding the hose into your fitting. Have your clamps on. Put the clamp. As you can see on your fitting, you have these little grooves. Make sure your hose go past those grooves and put them on this side of the groove, the outside where the hose is, so the clamp will catch this groove. You don't want any looseness in the air to get into your lines. All right. Let me get that on and show you how it looks, and we'll start piecing things back together. All right, one quick note, like I was saying, piecing it back together. As you can see in this hose, you kind of see the indentation on top of it. That's where your groove is, and that's where you want your clamp. Okay, but not too tight. When you're squeezing hoses with any clamps or anything like that, anytime you're dealing with rubber hoses, do not put it too tight. Reason being, this can also happen. It'll pinch the hose, and once the pinch gets in it, being how the weather is, how it's hot, cold here in Houston, same thing can happen in other climates, but over time, either way, this is what you're gonna get. Your hose will start tearing away, and then you have a leak. So that's how that looks. Let me get this other side on the inside, and then we can start piecing everything back together. And one thing we're also gonna do is change the bushings on our torsion bar. This is your torsion bar. A lot of cars, you see that it comes from the inside of your wheel well right under your strut. Okay? This is our clamp for the rubber fittings, or bushings as they're called. Phone call. Let me get one to show you. All right, there we go. these are your bushings for your torsion bar. And it has a little opening, you just fit it right over it. Or you can slide it on either way. When you put it on, you can slide it on here, or like I said, you can just fit it right over the bar. And this would be where the clamp is. Alright y'all, we got all our hoses replaced. Now let's put our bushings on. Okay. You see? Oh, no. You see the cracks in the old one? Put it down. Like I said, like a rubber band. Rubber band gets hot, cold, starts to get hard. Try to pull it back and it breaks. Same thing. Rubber band, rubber bushing. It's a new one. As you can see, I can kind of squeeze this one. It's a little harder. Okay. And to replace it, like I say, you can either slide it on or just go from the opening, squeeze it over the bar. Once you get it on, this will be a clamp. The clamp will sit over your bushing. And it has a little groove where your bushing sits in. As you can see, there. Your bushing sits in that groove. And your clamp will go over it. As such. Kind of pops on. I don't know if you heard that. That's how it look. Your torsion bar go through the center and you screw it on. Alright. And get that on, and I'll show you how that looks. And then we can get our tie rods back on and complete connecting complete connecting our rack and pinion to our wheelbase. Alright. And this will be your control arm, pretty much. That's what your tie rod is going to. Alright. Or your wheel hub, actually. Okay. Well, let me get this on. Be right back. I'll show you the rest. Okay. I got our bushing on. Alright, I haven't connected it yet, but we're gonna tighten down our torsion bar first on this side. And to tighten that down, this is your screws. This is how the assembly looks. This part, this rubber bushing or link pin would sit right in that hole, as such. And as you see the hole on the top of the torsion bar, the top will go on that. And once you push your bolt, that will go from the bottom through your bushings to the top. And you see it has threads at the top. You hold that with a pliers, and it takes a 13-inch socket, 13mm socket. And just screw it in as such. Get that in. And that's how it would look. Okay. As you notice, I'm just putting bolts in. I'm not tightening anything down yet because we have another side to do. Just giving you an idea how everything looks. Now we're going to come back and tighten everything down, and we add our fluid and be good to go. Alright, let me get the other side in, and I'll come back and show you how you do your tie rods. And I'll also show you how to keep the alignment on your tie rods. Well, try to keep it as close as you can. But anytime you take anything off with your suspension, especially your rack and pinion, anything with your steering, you might want to go get your alignment checked. Just a food for thought. Alright? Alright, got everything set up. Now, the trick I was going to show you about your tie rod is keeping your alignment. Anytime you're taking your tie rod off and you loosen this bolt, screw it back to where the tie rod is. And as you can see how it's kind of dark? Once you screw it back to where your tie rod is, you simply screw your tie rod back on. Just screw it back on up until where the bolt is. Once you screw it on to where the bolt is, that should be pretty much where you left off. Okay? And we gotta push down to show you. I pushed the bolt back just a little bit, so I'm gonna stop it about right there. And let's come back and turn. About right there. Go up a little bit more. That'll work. All right. And of course, your tie rod goes into the hub fitting. And with that, you have a bolt at the bottom. Screw it on, tighten it up, and that'll be your tie rod. And don't forget to tighten up these bolts once you get your tie rod on. That keeps it in place. Okay? All right, that's everything is put back together. I'm gonna tighten everything up, get our fluid in it, get it running, let the fluid circulate through the system, see if we have any leaks. If not, we should be good to go. All right, got everything on. Tighten down our torsion bar. We have our torsion bar to our wheel hub. Tighten down our tie rod. All our hoses are put back, tightened down. That's how you should look. Alright, do the other side, add the fluid. Alright, got everything tightened up. Added some fluid, and you see it went down. That's a good thing. Add some more fluid to it. Now the noise you're hearing, that's the power steering pump. That's the bearing trying to send the fluid through the system. They're rubbing against each other. So as the fluid goes through the system, goes through the system, there you go. It's going to spread out all the way through the bearings and the metal pieces of together on the inside of your pump, as well as the rack attendant. And the noise will get quieter and quieter. You're trying to see the fluid bubbling up. That's what you want to see. That means it's circulating. Okay? Got everything tightened up on both sides. See over here. Got the other side. Tighten that one last bolt up. And we're ready to put our wheels back on. The reason why I have the car running now while I'm doing the last tightening, so our fluid can go ahead and search through it. We can do our test drive and everything. We won't have to wait for it. Because you're gonna have to turn your wheel back and forth for about 5 minutes or until noise gets quieter. You'll hear it as it gets quieter the more you turn it. And then after that, you just drive. And the fluid will push itself through and the car will be quiet again. Alright? Get this last bolt tightened up, get our wheels on, go for our test drive, check everything out. Good. Alright, as you can see, letting the car run. I got our bolt on. There's that. Tighten, everything's secure. Okay? Ignition. As you hear, the car's gotten quiet. The fluid is still stable, but I just been letting it run. Like I said before, you're gonna have to turn your wheel back and forth. And then you're gonna see your fluid go down. So keep adding fluid. Everything is quiet and it's topped off. Alright, that's the example of that. Even though it's quiet and it's been running, you hear it? That's what you're gonna have to do. See how easy the wheel turns? Before it was very hard. No fluid. You're gonna have that noise until you just keep turning back and forth, and your fluid is gonna go down. That's your fluid distributing, going back and forth. And it got quieter. Same thing's gonna happen as you turn your wheel back and forth. It's just pushing the fluid through. Once the fluid is all the way through, your car is gonna be quiet, and you'll be ready to roll. All right, y'all. That's Hard Draw DIY. Like I say, always here to help. Try to do as much as I can. Teaching, learning. Any questions you got, feel free to hit me up. Let me know anything you want to know about how to do. Just let me know, give me a subject, and get our best to show you what's going on with whatever you guys question. All right, y'all. You have a good one. Till next time.